Hello everyone. Let me just start this off by saying I'm not too sure what this video is going to be. It's mostly a mod guide for me and anybody that has no idea about modding in Oblivion. Maybe I can help you start. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through all of the old ways, such as WryeBash, Oblivion Mod Manager, and manually installing files, just to kind of show you how these things are done. However, if you're looking for newer ways, such as Wapons, Mod Organizer 2, and Nexus Mod's Vortex downloader, this isn't for you. Those are new. I hear they work really well. They can auto-install stuff and download huge mods, but that's not what I'm looking to do. I really just choose a small amount of mods, see them here, to enhance my vanilla game. Using these tools, we're going to update and patch Oblivion so it's stable, looks good, and runs well here in the year 2025. Before we begin, there are just a few things that we need to do. First is to install 7-zip or Winrar. These little programs will let us examine and extract the mod files once we've downloaded them. If you're on Steam, you might need to disable your Steam overlay by going through the Steam settings. Additionally, you may need to find the 4 GB RAM patch, which lets your game use more than its base allocated amount of RAM. Finally, we're going to want to do a clean install of our game, which means not just uninstalling from our launcher, like Steam or GOG, but we want to go into the manual file locations and the data files and just delete all the extra junk. So when we reinstall the game, we have all the files we're supposed to in the places that we want. Once we've cleared out all the old junk, we can do a clean install of a brand new game. However, if you've already done this or don't care, you can go ahead and skip to the Mod Manager installation part. So for me, being in GOG, I always have to look up Oblivion. It's a pretty simple one. I just hit install. But the first major choice we're going to have is where to install our game. Now, if you only have one single hard drive or SSD, it's going to try and put it into your program files 86. See, there's GOG Galaxy. If you're Steam, again, it was Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Oblivion. Typically, if you're going to do modding, you don't want to put it in program files x86. Now, I have created on my second drive, G, a games folder, and one for GOG games. That's where I'm going to stick my Oblivion folder. That works for me. You can put it anywhere. Desktop shortcut, it's up to you. I'm going to say yes for now.
A few moments later.
Here we are, my game installed pretty quickly, pretty easily. Oblivion is a very small game. Now if we go check back into where we installed our folder, right, here is my games, GOG games, Oblivion. We'll notice that there's a bunch of stuff in it again, which is exactly what we want. We've got all the original files, the game is fine. Here if we check our saves folder, all of our saves and things are still here. Now what we're going to want to do is run Oblivion just one time. We can do it either through your launcher, GOG or Steam, but you can also use the shortcut if you so chose to use one. So here we go. Oblivion is going to try and detect your hardware settings, but it's not very good at this. So we're gonna have to go to options. And essentially, I just want ultra high. If your computer at this point does not run ultra high, I don't know why you're gonna try and make the game even harder to run. But that's on you. Don't forget to set your widescreen if that's what you're using. And this is typically what you want. You want distant, everything checked, HDR. Windows or full screen is fine. Either way, some people have problems with full screen, some people have problems with windowed. That's all good. And here we go. If we check data files, this shows all of our ESPs, DLCs, and also if we had any mods, this is where they would go. But as far as mod managing goes, it's useless. So that's there. We're gonna hit play. Game boots up easy. Here's our intro. Pretty basic, right? We'll check out our video. Put everything full. Down here in the bottom left is our version number of the game, 1.20416. That is the most recent. And generally, If you don't have that, there's a bunch of other steps you gotta do, but if you got it from GOG or Steam, you should have the most recent, game version. So way down here, I've got some test folders. Yes, I'm aware. And this is we're just gonna use this to take a quick look at what Oblivion is like. So right out of the gate, this is it. Not too bad. I don't want that. Ta-da! So here's our game and it works, just like that. It literally takes 5 minutes to start, and you can play it like this, and it's pretty awesome, but that's not what we're here for. So real quick, once we ran our game, there's even more files here in the documents, My Games, Oblivion, right where we have our saves. And these are the two kind of folders that we're going to want open to us at all times. We're going to want where our Oblivion has been stored, and we're going to want where our saves go. And these are, if we're going to do manual modding, these are the folders that we want. So I don't close out of them, we're just going to minimize them. Okay, bear with me, but this is probably the longest section of the video. We're going to manually install Oblivion Script Extender, and then we're going to use 3 installers to install WryeBash, Oblivion Mod Manager, and BOSS, Better Oblivion Sorting Software. Alright, we can get all of these tools at Nexus Mods. Essentially, this is where we get everything we want. The first thing that we want to install is called Oblivion Script Extender. And here we are at its Nexus Mods page. As we can see, it's been updated quite recently. A bit of background info is that the previous sort of developers kind of left, but they've still maintained a GitHub page, and if you don't know what that is, congrats, you're probably a normal person. So you can either download it from OBSE, which was I guess 2-3 weeks ago, and that makes sense because they match. We can get it here, the zip file. It's the same if you go to Nexus Mods files, you can preview file contents. This is what you're getting. I'm not using a mod manager, so we'll just manually download that. Slow download. I don't have a premium account, so hence there's ads at the sides of this screen, and it takes a bit of a second to download. But that's cool. We'll just hit, oh, you know what, just downloads. Downloads is fine. You can save these mods literally anywhere. Here's a look at that list of what we'll be doing, in case you want to download them all now. But anyway, back to OBSE. So here's OBSE. We're going to be doing it manually. If you installed Winrar or 7-zip, here's its time to shine. We'll just crack open that archive. Every time you open up a mod package, you want to look for a README file for when you do this on your own. Basically, a README will contain all the information required to properly install it. This latest folder for OBSE did not have a README, so we'll have to go and check either its Nexus Mods page or the GitHub. So as it says here, the files that we need to copy will depend on which version of the game we have. So I don't have a Steam version, mine is GOG, even though it's not retail. There's specific files right here that we need. So the OBSE 12416, right, our most recent version of Oblivion. The editor 12DLL, OBSE loader, and the data folder right here. So data, OBSE, OBSE editor, and OBSE loader. That's what I want because I use GOG. If you use Steam, the only thing that's going to be different is you want the Steam loader DLL instead, which is right there. And like I said, not the saves, but right here, the game installation folder. Mine's second drive, games, GOG Games, Oblivion. Wherever you put yours is fine. And we'll just drag that right over. right out of the 7-zip into it. As you can see, here's OBSE, OBSE editor, loader, data. And that's it. That was a manual install. From now on, if we want to use OBSE, we launch out of the loader. Okay. Yeah, I trust it. Don't worry. It's good. So you might get a warning, just in case, because they are unfamiliar files. But just like that, it loads fine. Now, if we want to be really crafty, what we can do is create a shortcut. So you'll want to go to the OBSE loader, right-click, create shortcut, and you can just drag a copy of this down to your desktop. We'll just make sure that works, and yeah, it opens. So that's script extender working perfectly fine. Our next tool is going to be Wrye Bash. And here, again, it's got a GitHub page, GitHub releases. There's some info, but that's fine. We just want the most recent installer right here. It warns that, it doesn't matter. Just get it. Installer only. The other files don't matter. You don't want to manually install. You don't want to mess with any of the junk. So here we'll save right into downloads again. It's totally fine. Actually, and while we're here, we'll get the OBMM installer. Save that. So, alright, as we can see here, WryeBash gave us an error. So, because it's not commonly used, keep it. Keep anyway. That's fine. I trust these apps. Like, there's a huge amount of documentation, endorsements, people use them. It's not going to hurt your computer if you're worried. So there we go. We got WryeBash, we got Mod Manager, and then same thing. So Boss you can't really get on Nexus mods anymore. So if you just type Boss into Google, or generic search engine, it'll come right up. So it'll give you other options here, like you can get it from GitHub, which is again very reliable, or on another file sharing site. And you might be wondering, why would I use Boss instead of the newer loot? Well, I don't play or mod any of the other games. Boss is fine. I just like Boss, okay? So same thing, they've got the manual install files, but we want the installer. So we'll download that. And here's our installers. WryeBash does not need to be extracted, so we'll just run it. Again, it's warning that it'll probably hurt us, but that's fine. So here it is. We run it, we accept it. It's the newest version. It'll try and detect if you've got any games, and look at that, it found it already. I'm going to install it for Oblivion, games, got games, Oblivion. I don't have any other Elder Scrolls games. I don't have any Fallout games installed. I don't want to install it for any extra locations. You would do that in case you were doing this first and then install your game, which is like, I don't know why you would do that. Next, a start menu shortcut. Yeah, that's okay. Just a quick install here. And it's done. We're going to run it. I don't need the readme. We'll disable that. That's fine. I'm not too sure what that does, actually. And here comes WryeBash. As you can see, it's a little more detailed than the Oblivion data files. Here's all of our mods, our saves. And this goes Right here, when it installed, it went to our, where it asked us to save it, and it created a mopey file. It's right here, that's where WryeBash is. However, it also creates an Oblivion Mods folder, which is one up from the Oblivion folder, right? It's just beside it. Pay no attention to Oblivion mod downloads. That's just where I've put all the mods ahead of time. So Oblivion mods, bash installers, bash mod data, that's okay. We don't need to know about that just yet. And that's WryeBash. Oblivion Mod Manager is the same way. If you didn't do 7-zip or Winrar, you can do extract all. But here's 7-zip. This is what I want. Just open up that archive. Look, it's another .exe. We'll copy that into downloads. We will run it. Except, again, you always want it to be in the same folder as your game. G, Games, GOG Games, Oblivion, or wherever you have installed it. Desktop icon, yes, I would love one. Quick launch, that's fine. You can leave all those checked. They're pretty good. We're not going to view it, but we will launch the mod manager. And again, same thing. All the DLCs and mods are here. On the right side, it has some different utilities. And the last thing we want, boss. Open with 7-zip. Here's the boss installer. We're going to run this one too. Yes, I speak English. Next. It's asking me to put it into C boss, but I'm going to move it. This PC. Games. GOG Games. So here we are with Oblivion mods, and just like that, I'm going to create one here, a file, or folder, sorry. Call it boss. That's where I'm going to put my boss program. It's just nice to have it all kind of in the same place. Yes, I want to run it immediately after close. So every time you run it, it will do a command line run, which is fine. We're going to show you how to not do that in a second. But every time you run boss, it'll give you a readout of all of your recognized, unrecognized, active, and inactive mods, as well as what runs on OBSE. Now, as you can see, our printout has told us that we have OBSE installed. Perfect, that's good. We want that. Here it shows all of our recognized plugins. So, Oblivion, all the DLCs, Knights of the Nine. It suggests things that we could do to fix this. Or like improve them, but we don't have to. That's advanced modding. We don't need to do that. And just like that, pop, 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 pop. Oblivion Script Extender, WryeBash, Mod Manager, and Boss, all installed. Way to go. So I'm gonna tidy some things up, and then we'll get started at some manual installs and Oblivion Reloaded. Okay, so here we are with some of our first mods. Now, I'm going to do these ones manually. So manual mod installs are basically just copying files. You don't use a mod manager. Now, you would want to do this only for a few reasons. Number one would be if you don't plan on uninstalling, because that gets really messy to uninstall a manual install. So Oblivion Reloaded is a good example of this. Essentially, it kind of overhauls a lot of stuff, and I don't ever plan on uninstalling it. It's also highly recommended to install Oblivion Reloaded first, before any kind of other mods. So what Oblivion Reloaded does is actually modernizes the game. This helps with rendering issues, textures, frame rate issues. It even provides an in-game menu where you can adjust additional shaders. and new features and commands that it installs as well. However, there are a couple different versions. So there's Oblivion Reloaded, which is like the official kind of one that's been stopped updating, 2022. They've got Oblivion Reloaded E3, recently updated, which I've heard great things about. Apparently this is just the premium one to use. I've also read that Oblivion Reloaded Combined, again more recent, has a lot of features in it, but I'm not too interested in these. I just want Oblivion Reloaded. And luckily, I've already downloaded that. So here are, oopsie, not GOG games, but my Oblivion mod downloads. So here, if we're gonna do manual installs, this is what you need 7-zip for. So this is my Oblivion Reloaded file. Just gonna open it with 7-zip. And if you notice inside, it's got docs, menus, meshes, music, OBSE, shaders, sound, yada yada. So if we take a look at our Oblivion folder and go into our data folder, does all this look kind of familiar? Here's our Oblivion DLCs, our Knights of the Nine, ESPs, BSAs. Also, video, textures, shader, OBSE, music. So we'll just copy these right over. And that's a manual install. It might ask you to replace some files. Yes, that's totally fine. So that's Oblivion Reloaded. And that was it, really. That's how you install it manually. Another one I'm going to do just to show you. I'm going to do Immersive Weapons, which adds a ton of new weapons to a drop list. Seamlessly, like doesn't mess anything up. I'm going to do Shadow Armor Set Sotonhorian. And then, just for fun, the Midas Magic Spells of Aurum. So here we are. Data folder. And all my mods. If you've got them in downloads, that's fine. This is just where I keep mine. I have to find them now. So yeah, Immersive Weapons, here's one. We're going to open this archive. It's got readmes, which are cool. It tells you how to install. And again, it's really simple. Just unpack the ESP and BSA to the Oblivion data folder. Perfect. Requires OBSE. We have that. That's cool. You should always be checking readmes unless you really know what you're doing. I, however, we're going to just check in here. So the reason we can do this one manually is because all of these textures, they're unique. None of these are going to overwrite any files at all. So I can take the textures, BSA and ESP. Even though it only says to take those two, I'm going to take all three. Just copy them. Just taking a second. Boom. So if we check textures, there was weapons, add an A, custom. Just slides them in. It didn't overwrite anything really. The Shadow Armor set, again, 7-zip. See, so meshes and textures. It's just its own file, standalone. Doesn't change, doesn't hurt anything. We'll take meshes, textures, and the ESP. Put them over. Gave me a little pop-up there. I don't know what that was. Just to be sure. Yes. Replace them. That's fine. And what was I gonna do? Midas magic, right? Unless I deleted that. Nope, it's right here. So 7-zip, open the archive. Look at that, it's a BSA and an ESP, no textures. Just put them over. So that's manual install. If we want to check and make sure they're there, we can open up WryeBash or Oblivion Mod Manager. Either is fine. And they're right here. Shadow Armor Set, Midas spells, Immersive Weapons. Easy. We want to make sure that they're all checked. So, if you're wondering why we didn't see an ESP for Oblivion Reloaded, it's because it doesn't really have one. It's not a mod that works that way. Again, we don't plan on uninstalling it, so we don't have to worry about it. And again, because these ones are standalone, they don't change anything else other than just be added and removed to the game. We can check and uncheck them at will, and that's fine. And that covers manually installing, which is a piece of cake, really. So we're going to do something a little trickier now. And this one we need WryeBash for. So we are going to install the unofficial patches. UOP, the unofficial Shivering Isles patch. If you don't have Shivering Isles, you might not need it. And the DLC patches. We're also going to add 2 texture packs. I just prefer Qarls Texture Pack 3 Redimized. It's just nice. It's up to date-ish. It works. There are other texture packs out there. I know OUT, Oblivion Upscaled Textures, is a good one, but I don't use that one. And then there's also bomb rats for Shivering Isles. So again, if you're on Nexus, go to the files, and you always just want the main files. Well, most of the time. Actually, for Qarls Texture Pack, we're going to need the second unofficial Oblivion patch file, the optional one, because it helps resolve some conflicts that they have. And so once you've got all those downloaded, find them in your either downloads folder, if you downloaded them there, or if you're like me, I have them all in my mod downloads page. So we can do this one of 2 ways. Remember at the beginning how I said Oblivion Mods was installed by WryeBash? So where you want to install things is a file called bash installers. Leave Bane, converters, and bash alone. This is what we want. Another way to do it is by going to the installers tab in WryeBash. It'll just take a second. So this installers tab and bash installers, they're the same. You can drag and drop either into your bash installers or the installers page. Do not drop to the mods page. In fact, I think it will even try and stop you. Yeah, there's a little X. So the installers, the 5 we want are the unofficial patches, Qarls Texture Pack, Qarls Texture Pack Compatibility patch, and bomb rats. We don't have to zip them, we don't have to do anything, we can just copy. If you copy them into WryeBash, it'll ask if you want to move them or copy them. I'm going to hit copy. It'll just take a quick little second here to install everything. That's fine. So here they are in WryeBash now, the installers page. And they're also here in our bash installers page. So we can back out of that. We don't need to go into that again. I like to just leave it at my Oblivion data whatever page. So an important thing for mods is that we kind of want them in order of importance. So the unofficial Oblivion patch, we're going to move that one to first, which is actually 0. The Shivering Isles patch, we'll move that one to 1. The DLC patches will move to 3. Qarls texture pack we will move to 4. I messed that up, but it's fine. Ignore this. Ignore me fixing these. So at the end of it, you're going to want to have it kind of looking like this. The unofficial patch first, the Shivering Isles patch, the DLC patch, Qarls texture patch, Qarls texture patch, and then Bombrat's texture pack. And all we want to do here is just hit install. It'll tell you that there are some programs here that might be harmful to your computer. Are you sure you want to install this? Yes. These files could be malicious. That's okay, I want to install it. Because I know what it is, I know where it came from. Yada yada yada. And again, because WryeBash is an automatic installer, it's not us doing things manually. It's still moving all the files as if we were. But one of the main advantages that WryeBash has over manual install is that you can uninstall these packages. It'll just do that for you. Especially if something is really complicated, something really difficult, requires other files and folders to be moved and whatnot. Oh shit, I did that wrong. Okay, see, here we go. Look, uninstall. Actually, can I just do this? Oh, perfect. I don't even need to use the move to. See, again, making mistakes, not a big deal. Everything's going to be fine. This one's taking a second because it's 1.3 gigabytes. It also took a while for all of the mods to get in here in the first place. Again, this is the biggest mod we'll have. Well, I guess we wait for that. I will also say that when you add a bunch of files that modify files, that change textures, that redirect file paths, you're going to want to do something called archive invalidation. And that's another advantage that WryeBash has over manual install and OBMM, is that it automatically does archive invalidation. Now, OBMM can do archive invalidation, but it requires a few extra clicks, but we'll go over that later. For now, just keep installing the packages that we added to WryeBash. Now, if we just hop over here to our mods page, you can see all of the things that it added. So we're going to do the unofficial patch, Shivering Isles patch, Horse Armor, Orrery, Frostcrag, Thieves' Den. Now, the second Thieves' Den patch, we don't necessarily need, so we won't check that one. Violair, Knights of the Nine, Battlehorn Castle. As you can see here, here's the Citadel door fix, oh, you know, I'll check that one. And it's up to you, just kind of pick what you want. You don't necessarily need all of them. Game runs fine without. And just like that, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all of our WryeBash patches done. Easy peasy. So up next, we'll be taking a look at some UI overhauls and how to do mods with Oblivion Mod Manager. All right, and here we are at kind of the last, second to last, the penultimate. Is that the right word? Section of this video. And in this part, I'm going to show you how to use Oblivion Mod Manager, what an OMOD is, and how we sometimes might have to make them. So the first example I'm going to use is Darnified UI. It's just a UI overhaul. It changes textures, size, menus, whatever. It's pretty handy. There are others, you know, like a dark version of Darnified. I'm not using that one. And then Northern UI, which turns it into like Skyrim's, which I mean I don't really like anyway. So we'll just get rid of that. And my other mod is going to be ingredient storage shelves, which is a pretty cool lore-friendly mod that adds ingredients storage shelves to your houses around Cyrodiil. So again, I've already got these downloaded right here in Oblivion Mod Downloads. And I'm going to open up Oblivion Mod Manager. Just like Wrye Bash, it has all of our mods here. If you check them here, it will check them in Wrye Bash and vice versa. What we've got to do here is for Darnified UI, we're going to find it or download it. We're going to open its archive. And we're going to notice that it's only got an OMOD file. Like, that's it. It's got no textures, no meshes, no nothing, no readme. So we've got to find out where that was installed, and we installed it again in our Oblivion folder, right? Mopy is WryeBash, OBMM is Oblivion Mod Manager. So we'll open that, we will go to mods, it is empty, not anymore. Maybe we gotta relaunch Oblivion Mod Manager for that to show up, and there it is, it's in red. Now all we have to do to activate this OMOD file is highlight it and click activate. So it'll give you a warning that it conflicts with already active other mods. It's not necessarily true, it's saying that it's gonna overwrite some files. And it says, do you want to be warned about any file conflicts? No. If you click yes, it will show you every single file that it's going to overwrite, and you have to hit enter for every single one. You just don't want to do that. I trust it, so I'm going to press no. See, now it activated. It asks us for a name. This doesn't matter. You can put anything you want. And look, so Oblivion Mod Manager uses OMODs, and they run little scripts. I just want to install everything. And just like that, it's all going to be installed. But it does give you a couple extra options here. So if we don't want any of them, we can click OK, and it'll be fine. But if we want to do fonts, we can do that. Classic inventory changes some stuff. If we want the readme, it even tells us where it will be put. If you want to add color to your map, you can do that. And then no quest pop-ups. So what I want to do is I want to highlight, let's go documentation and custom font. That's okay for me. I will highlight those two by holding Control F and then click OK. For my font, I'm going to go with Dunkirk. I think it's nice. They're all pretty nice. I'm also going to select large textures. Why? Because the small ones are really, really small. Oh, look. They even tell you how to make your own fonts and add them to this mod. That's cool. So I'll just do that. I'll do large size fonts. OBMM is now asking for confirmation, as Oblivion.ini is modified to implement your choices. Click yes when asked. Okay. Yes. 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 And that's active. And so that's an advantage to Oblivion Mod Manager, is that it runs these OMOD files pretty easily. Now to show you what else it can do, we're going to take a look at that second mod here, the ingredient storage shelves. And it's got OMOD conversion data in it, which is pretty awesome. So what this will do is we'll configure it into an OMOD friendly format. Now instead of going and just copying it over into the mods file, this time we have to click create. And kind of similar how we just used WryeBash to import a whole zipped file. Here we have to do a little bit of extra work. I'm going to call this ingredients storage shelves. We can leave the rest of it blank, but we're going to want to hit add archive. And same thing, we'll just go find wherever it is. If it's in your downloads, that's where you'll navigate to. Here I'm going to my mods folder. What the heck is it called? Ingredient, right there. So just select it. OMOD conversion data is available. Would you like to import it? Yes. Now you can do this with some mods that don't have conversion data, but it gets a little bit messy. So here we are, our mod, our file path. Nothing else needs to be changed. We just hit create OMOD. OMOD created successfully. It didn't take very long. As you can see, it put itself right here in our mods file. Same thing. We'll hit activate. Do you want to run this as a full mod or as resource files? Full mod. And then this is what the conversion data did. It gave us this little script. I can choose which textures I would like best for Coral and Skin Grads. The next two screens will allow you to view and decide which to install. And amazingly, it's even got a little preview of which one you want. Now I happen to really like these glass ones. For Coral, I don't know. Yeah. Whatever, I'll just do glass for both. That's totally fine. And it's active, just like that. It even activated and checked itself here at the bottom. So that is how you use OMOD, or Oblivion Mod Manager. Now, this is kind of the last thing. This is now unrelated to Oblivion Mod Manager. This is now just finishing up. So what we want to do, because we've activated so many mods, is do something called archive invalidation. Now we can do that through Mod Manager here, under Utilities, Archive Invalidation, and if you read old files, it might tell you to do Universal BSA Invalidation, BSA Alteration, but we just want BSA Redirection, and then Update Now, done. And that basically lets your base game find files where they shouldn't be, or use modified files or mods. And just like that, everything should be fine. Now when you extract things with WryeBash, it does it automatically. But as we've done some other modding, it might not work that way. And this way, we just know it works. I should also point out that, you see how everything here is just like a big jumble, out of order, not where it should be? This is where we run boss. So if we go back to our Oblivion folder, well actually wherever you installed boss, right? I installed mine here. It's all neatly together. I'm not going to run the command line boss. I'm going to run the GUI. It'll come up here. It'll ask you what games you want to use it for. I've only got Oblivion installed. We'll hit OK. And here it is. This is our regular little boss. And we want it to sort the plugins and update our master list. We'll hit run. Ta-da! And we're back at our boss page. As you can see, our mod count is way different. It's still counting. We have some recognized, unrecognized, inactive. And all. There's a couple more that need OBSE here, Oblivion Reloaded, and the OBSE jail and training fixes. And again, here's our big long list of things and suggestions, but that's fine. We can close out of that. Also, GUI means graphic user interface for any non-nerds. And I can show you, I guess, what boss really does. Is it puts everything in the order it should be. So the unofficial Oblivion patch loads after Oblivion, right? Shivering Isles patch, Horse Armor patch. And it's very, very good at what it does. Yeah, Immersive Weapons suggests to put it at the very bottom of the load order if I bothered to check the README. I did. You didn't. I didn't show you. But it'll be fine there. I pretty much guarantee it. So that's it. Moment of truth time. We're going to load from our script extender shortcut that we made. Because this is the first time we're loading after a bunch of mods, especially Oblivion Reloaded, it might take us just a minute or 2 or 3. And there it is. Bethesda, we'll skip. And look, totally different menu. Right down here in the bottom left, because we've got Darnified installed, it's a little bit different as well. Still shows us our more recent version. Shows that we've got Oblivion Reloaded installed. We'll always want to go to gameplay. Oh, not gameplay. Video. So we're all here at large. Distant land on, distant trees on. Basically, we want all the shadow off. Specular distance, I know it was supposed to be at 50%. HDR on, bloom off, water high, reflection, ripples, blah. Yeah, that's all good. So yeah, I'm gonna hit load. I'm gonna bring up that test file again. Again, I have a couple mods that I deleted, haven't put back, but that's fine. And here we are. Everything looks just a little bit sharper, a little bit more crisp. The shadows now move with the sun, right? And everything is looking pretty nice. So yeah, this is a stable game with all the patches. Everything here is gonna work excellent. Here's a look at the brand new map that Darnified UI installed. It's very pretty. I'm gonna take a quick trip to Qarls, and I'm gonna show you some of our new textures and the new Sotonhorian armor set, the standalone set that we added, just to prove that our mods have worked. And as you can see, the character models are pretty much unchanged. They still have their potato faces. We're going to take a look at that in part 2, where I install some more textures and the OCO faces. I'm going to have to cheat a bit here, so I'm going to do player.add item. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is it F? Is it G? I think it's F. There we go. Just a little bit extra gold for me. Pretend you didn't see that if you're a new player.
Hello.
Barter.
Armor, weapons, I have it all.
And here's the Sotonhorian stuff. I'll buy the boots, the bracers, the cuirass, the greaves, the helmet, hood. Oh, I'm out of gold. Alright, that's fine. The tail armor doesn't work for me anyway.
Thanks. Be seeing you.
Over encumbered, yeah, I believe it. And then these are pretty cool. They look good. Standalone armor. It's really, really nice. Yeah. Just drop that because I don't need it. Alright. This is gonna sound a bit clunky just for a second, but I can explain this. Okay, 1 second. Alright, so now that I'm back, I can explain this. So Oblivion Reloaded, if you press the O key, it has a bunch of options. Now generally these shaders can be messed with pretty easily. Like we will turn blood on. We'll turn motion blur, I don't know, that's fine. So POM, I guess I should just start with this. POM has got to be off, disabled, or else it will mess with our textures. Shadows is fine. Again, don't know what that does. Skin. Ooh. Oh, shadows on skin. So the invisible one here is it's extra shaders. That's what's up. Now this is a problem that affects a lot of AMD cards. Basically, if you're on AMD, you're out of luck. Maybe try one of the other Oblivion script extenders. And finally, I want to highlight just a couple of the extra features that Oblivion Reloaded does. You can find them usually on the main tab, even though there's also the weather tab and like the shaders tab. These are more serious alterations that often require a game restart. I highly suggest turning off dodge by changing it from 1 to 0, enabled to disabled, as well as sleep mode. They're just little tweaks that Oblivion Reloaded added that I find really annoying 99% of the time. So now we're finished. We are past the point of one-size-fits-all tutorial, and it is up to you to determine what mods and settings you want to use. Or stick around for part 2, where I'll be adding more textures and enhancements to make my game just a little bit nicer.